He's never fought us. Not us united.
I'm gonna die. Oh! I can so see that. That's it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Comics League Indie Wednesday. I'm your host, Jared, and we're talking about Jupiter's. I almost said Jupiter Ascending. That's another movie. Jupiter's Legacy by Mark Millar, and this is part of. They basically this is kind of what they adapted for the show. Now, before I get into this, I just want to say, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, particularly subscribe and hit the little bell icon to make sure you get notifications whenever we upload content. We upload fairly regularly, and you don't want to make sure you miss anything. So, Jupiter's Legacy. This is different from the show. Like, at least volume 1 is. This is the first volume I've read of this series. I just marathoned it today. But, I mean, if this is what they're adapting for the show, it's nothing like that. Okay, so let me go into this. And I mean in a good way. I like this book. I tolerated the show. Let me put it that way. So, again, this is written by Mark Millar, and you'll know him from, like, The Ultimates, Civil War, and plenty of other really... Old Man Logan. It's a very, very, very superb writer. So, in this book is taking place during the Cold War. It's very important that I mention that because several key plot points are going to link to that. And another thing I want to mention, the Justice League in this universe is called the Union. It's all humans that have superpowers. Now, one of these individuals named Blue Bolt is gay. And this is where I mentioned that it goes back to the fact that it's in the Cold War era, because back then it was you were blacklisted if you were in any way different in any way. Which again, I like how this book deals with that, because that was 100% the way it was back then, particularly for the time period that this book is taking place in. So basically, this book is really a lot of like superheroes, a few of the Union members one hiding that he's gay. That's like the first couple of issues are a couple of Union members hiding this. So what's funny is that one of the characters in this book is J. Edgar Hoover, and he has blackmail on Blue Bolt, and he's saying, okay, so if you don't tell me the secret identities of your Union buddies and become a government agent for us, we'll reveal to everyone that you're gay. So, what's interesting, so again, a couple of issues are him dealing with the pressure from this decision he has to make. He even tries to kill himself. It doesn't work because someone shows up at the last second. Now, what's humorous about this? So Hoover shows up at this dude's hospital bed and gives him one more chance to take him up on his offer, and Blue Bolt says, "No, I'll take my chances." Then suddenly, the next day, we find out he dropped the entire thing. You may be wondering, why suddenly? Well, it's because there was photos of J. Edgar Hoover himself engaging in acts with his partner. Now, you may be wondering who got that information. Well, it's the Batman character. So he basically goes, it's really hilarious. The Batman character basically goes, okay, drop this or I reveal this. Stop messing with my friend, or these will become public. Love that. The next story is basically about so a lot of these are sort of like self-contained stories about the different members of the Union, which honestly I like. I think it's this is to its benefit, because a lot of this. Because here's the thing, this really allows you, particularly since it's the first volume, to get a good idea of the characters of these in this universe. That's why I enjoyed the Snyderverse so much. In the Snyder Cut, the reason why it's good that's 4 hours is because you really get a chance to like really delve into the characters. and that's what that's what devoting certain issues to a singular character's story really benefits. So then we have this other superhero who's all in yellow for some reason, which is it's interesting. He calls himself the Flare. That's the costume of the Flare. I like it. It's pretty cool. By the art style is very 1960s. She meets this fangirl who's like, I think she's like 18 or 19 or something like that. So she's a big fan, and she wants to join the Union, but she has no powers. But she's very athletic and knows how to fight. So, and they end up getting into a relationship, but he's married. It's the whole classic drama thing. He takes her out, and they have regular crime fighting adventures. And then he basically goes to the Union and asks, "Hey, could she join the Union and stuff? We could use her." And then and then the Union goes. Their version of Superman, named the Utopian, goes, "Are you kidding me? That is the stupidest idea you could have thought of. She has no powers, and she has like." It basically says she has no value. She's a 19-year-old girl with no superpowers, and you're asking if she can join the Union. Yeah, it's really, 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 really interesting. And then they give him an ultimatum: end this relationship that you have with her because you're already married, or you're off the team. So eventually, he decides to leave and to leave the team essentially. So they have a whole little. They basically go out and hook up with. I guess you can call them the Teen Titans, sort of. It's like, I'm trying to find the actual name of the Teen Titans group in this book. But what I mean by that is it's basically the teenage superhero team. It's called, let me see. I am trying to locate that right now, but it's called, wait, I don't think it's an actual team. I think it's just like, because one of the superheroes says you're too old to join the teen scene. So I think it's just you're too old to like be in our organized group. I guess that is a team. Whatever. So then you discover, all right. So then there's this big battle that's going on. Basically, Earth 3 is invading. That's what it is. Alternate realities, parallel universes of us, and of us. Yeah, and then okay. So the Flare sees that one of the enemy's capital ships is about to crash. So he goes and catches it and is trying to slow its descent. He gets crushed by the ship, and it turns out he's paralyzed from the neck down. And then what's interesting is, so the girl's there, and they ask her, "Can you take care of him from now on?" And then she goes, "Oh, no, I'm just a teenager. I got to go." So she leaves. But luckily, the guy's family, the Flare's family, shows up and says, "No, you know what? We still stand by you," which is very interesting. So then we cut to these two brothers. And what's interesting about this particular arc is this really delves with a lot of like mind control, or like deals with it. So you have these two brothers. You have George and George, who basically is the one that's like Batman and has like, what's the word? He has like, I'm trying to get the right word. He has a butler essentially. But what's interesting is that then another member of the Union starts moving on George's girl. Actually, first, so George starts dating this girl who happens to be at the UN when there was a terrorist attack. I think it's George here. I'm trying to figure that out. Okay, Sky Fox. Sky Fox is the dude that's like essentially Batman. He's the one that like intimidated J. Edgar Hoover essentially. So they engage in a relationship, and apparently, so he's a party boy, and she kind of tames him. She's known as the woman that tames Sky Fox. Now, what's interesting is that then you have Walter, and Walter's powers are mind control. Now this is very key here. So they keep pushing Walter. What I mean is that they like take over his apartment and like rebuild it into a prison. And then George tries to propose to his girlfriend. She says no because she doesn't want to. She needs a grown up. In other words, she doesn't want to date basically a child. So she goes to Walter and they sleep together. Now George finds out about this and goes full on like Hulk because he, as far as George is concerned, Walter uses mind control powers to basically take the girl away. So Utopian says, "Okay, no, first we're going 1,000 feet in the air to talk about this," and then George is like, and then Utopian's like, "Okay, dude, okay, are you sure that she mind controlled her? Because you can be a bit much." And then, yeah, then Fox just leaves. Same time, Walter marries, and then what's interesting is then Utopian later on, after the prison's complete, goes, "Hey, dude, let me ask you something. Did you use your psychic powers?" And then he's like, and then Walter's like, "Oh wow, really, Sheldon?" Yes, his name is Sheldon. "You're gonna ask that question now?" And then he just walks out. And he kind of pissed him off. And then really, that's volume 1. Again, I really dug this book. I'm thinking of picking up volume 2. I only picked up volume 1 first because I wanted to see if I was interested in this IP, because I mean, I tolerated the Netflix show. It wasn't as good as the book as it is in most of the cases, but I don't know. It's very interesting. Well, then again, here's the thing: the Netflix show is kind of a prequel to this because the show is how they got their powers. Sort of. It like has 2 separate timelines. It's confusing as hell. Don't ask. But anyway, yeah, I like how each chapter or like each group of chapters, because I think it's like 2 issues per superhero, deals with a different member of the unions. Because again, what that allows for is for you to really get into who these characters are, particularly if it's volume 1, because you want to be able to communicate to your reader who these characters are, their roles in the universe and such. Particularly if you're not showing their origins or the origins of the union. So I think this book excels at doing that. But then again, it's written by one of the best writers, Mark Millar. So there you go. And I'm interested. Let me put it this way, and you guys can put in the comments if you guys want me to cover volume 2. If so, I'll pick it up, read it, and cover it. But that's where I'm going to leave this episode of Indie Wednesday. I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. It's really fun. I like doing these indie shows because they really expand like my knowledge of comic books, because otherwise I'd just be reading Marvel and DC. And as far as next Indie Wednesday, I'm going to be having a guest, Miss L.A. Cunningham, and she's going to come on and talk about what she does in the indie comics. It'll be really, really fun. I can't wait to do that. So anyway, stay heroic, everyone, and I will see you in the next one. By the way, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Now, stay heroic, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.